A screen glows in the dark. Fingers trace old words. Not checking falters. The same message reopened. Each tap, a silent plea to fill what's gone. Loss lingers, not in their absence, but in the reflex to chase it. The clock ticks. No answers come. What is gained by replaying their silence? Is it clarity or just pain looping again? The mind insists it's control. But control doesn't scroll backward, seeking what was never owed. Each glance phrase the system, unseen. Regret compounds in quiet moments when no one watches. The weight grows not from their choice, but from holding what they left behind. A thread unravels, not loud, but deep. Emptiness isn't the wound. It's the refusal to let it close. Seneca. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. The mind builds a cage, each memory a bar. Detachment isn't loss, it's cutting the chain. Is this search for meaning or just clinging to a shadow? If the past still pulls, who commands the present? Pain loops until the system resets. A hand hovers. The urge to type stirs. Why draft a message when their silence already spoke? What does explaining gain when no reply will shift the weight? Is chasing their reasons, control, or just repeating the same pain? Each word unsent, is it strength or denial of what's gone? Does holding the thought rebuild or just deepen the void? If their absence still pulls, what remains of presence? The screen waits, but no answer owes itself. Clinging to their choice is a loop, not a path. Detachment isn't surrender, it's refusing the trap. Why seek what they won't give when stillness holds more? Principle 1. Stop chasing their reasons. A question lingers. Why did they leave? The mind spins, replaying moments, searching for a flaw to pin. Explaining becomes a reflex, as if an answer would loosen the grip of loss. Each thought spirals, digging deeper into what's gone. The phone sits silent, yet the urge to ask persists. A message drafted, deleted, redrafted. The cycle holds tight. But what does chasing reveal, except the weight of rejection? Every attempt to understand their choice builds a cage, not a key. The truth lies elsewhere. Their reasons belong to them, not to the system seeking control. Each demand for clarity fuels overthinking, pulling further from presence. The cost isn't in their silence, it's in the refusal to let it stand. Epictetus. You have power over your mind, not events. Their departure is not yours to unravel. Clinging to why is a loop that binds. Detachment cuts it. Refrain. Don't ask. Sitting with it shifts the frame. No explanation owes itself. The mind quiets when it stops demanding. Breath replaces the chase. Each moment, unasked, rebuilds the edge. You don't owe anything. The system resets. But old patterns wait. A new reflex must rise, one that holds the line. Principle 2. The weight of old messages. Words from months ago still sit heavy. A screen lights up. Fingers scroll to find them. Not to read, but to feel something clinging to those lines, as if they hold a truth that changes pain. Each revisit, a step back into a moment that no longer exists. The heart races, then sinks. The message stays the same, but the ache grows. This isn't remembering, it's repeating. Every return to those words locks regret deeper. The system glitches, mistaking familiarity for control. But control doesn't live in the past. It's not in their typed promises or the gaps they left. Holding on buries presence under what's gone. The cost is silent, a slow drain of clarity. unnoticed until the void feels permanent. A rope binds to a sunken ship. No pull will raise it. Detachment severs the tie. Delete the thread, or let it fade. Hold nothing that pulls backward. Each choice to turn away carves space for stillness. The screen dims, the weight lifts. The void is where it clears. A pause settles. The reflex weakens. What remains is a choice to stay present. Principle 3. Silence over pleading. The urge to speak rises sharp. A plea forms, unspoken, to prove worth, to change their mind. Please, the reflex, to fill their silence with words. A call, unanswered. A text unsent, yet the mind rehearses explanations. Each imagined reply tightens the grip of shame. The heart begs for a response, as if their validation could lift the ache. But pleading builds no edge. It hands control to their absence. Every word offered deepens the wound, not theirs, but the one within. Reacting to their withdrawal fuels a cycle of loss. The cost isn't in their rejection. It's in abandoning self-command. To beg is to chase a shadow that owes nothing. Marcus Aurelius. You need not be heard unless you choose. Their choice is not your verdict. Withdraw from their frame. Let their silence stand. Say less or say nothing. Step back from the impulse. Each pause carves a line of discipline. The quiet holds not weakness, but power. Silence isn't surrender. A man sits alone. The phone stays dark. No words sent. Stillness holds the line. The reflex fades, but another waits. A new anchor must form, one that stays cold. Principle 4. The replay trap. A scene plays. Their laugh, their words, a moment frozen. The mind loops it, searching for what went wrong. Overthinking, the reflex to dissect each detail, as if answers hide in memory. Hours pass, the same images repeat. Each replay feels like understanding, but it's only pain recycled. The heart clings to what was, mistaking it for truth. This isn't reflection, it's a cage. Every loop locks emptiness deeper, stealing presence. The system misfires, chasing shadows that shift nothing. Their absence isn't clarified by imagining, it's cemented. The cost is silent, a slow bleed of awareness, until the now feels hollow. What's controlled? By replaying their face? Nothing. Detachment breaks the cycle. Epictetus. Don't let the force of an impression carry you away. Pause. Let the image fade. Observe the thought. Don't chase it. Each breath grounds the mind. The scene dissolves. Reality holds. Pain doesn't mean truth. The mind quiets. A new reflex builds. Another pull waits, but it can be met with stillness. Principle 5. Redesigning the frame. A drawer holds relics. Their note, a photo, a gift untouched. The hand hesitates. Attachment pulls to keep them close. Holding on. The reflex to anchor pain in objects, as if they preserve what's gone. Each glance at the past stirs regret, not clarity. The room feels heavy, not with their absence, but with what's kept. This isn't memory. It's a trap. Every item saved binds the system to loss. The mind mistakes possession for control, but control doesn't live in things. Clinging to fragments buries stillness under weight. The cost is quiet, a slow theft of clarity, until the space feels like a cage. A cluttered room mirrors a cluttered mind. Seneca. Everywhere is nowhere. When a man occupies all space, release clears the frame. Clear the drawer, Let it go. Hold nothing that tethers backward. Each empty space carves room for presence. The air lightens. The system resets. Detachment is a form of respect. Seneca burned a letter, not to forget, but to free his mind. Detachment held his edge. The frame shifts. A new boundary forms. Another reflex waits, but it meets a colder line. Principle 6. Escaping in distractions. The screen flickers. A new video, a post, a game. Escaping. The reflex to drown pain in noise. Hours blur, scrolling past thoughts that sting. The mind seeks relief, but finds only numbness. Each tap, each swipe, a step away from the ache, yet it waits, unmoved. The distraction feels like freedom, but it's a tether. This isn't rest, it's avoidance. Every hour spent fleeing buries awareness deeper. The system stalls, mistaking motion for progress. Dodging the void only widens it. The cost is unseen, a slow drift from self-command until presence feels foreign. Marcus Aurelius. Nowhere can man find a quieter retreat than in his own soul. Running from pain builds no refuge. Withdraw into silence, not noise. Turn off the screen. Sit with it. Breath cuts through the haze. Each moment faced rebuilds the center. Stillness holds what distraction steals. You don't have to react. A woman closed her app. The room grew quiet. Breath anchored her. Stillness won. The noise fades. A new edge sharpens. Another pull lingers, but it can be met with pause. Principle 7. Denying the void. The heart resists. It claims the ache is gone. Denial. The reflex to bury pain under routine. Days fill with tasks, smiles, chatter, anything to prove control. The mirror reflects a steady face, but the chest tightens. Impetus whispers, ignored. Each push to move on builds a lie, not a shield. This isn't strength, it's suppression. Every effort to outrun the void traps it deeper. The system falters, mistaking busyness for clarity. Forcing the wound shut only festers regret. The cost is silent, a slow fracture of awareness, until the self feels like a stranger. Epictetus. No man is free who is not master of himself. Denying the ache enslaves the mind. Face it to command it. Sit with it, don't turn away. Breath meets the weight. Each moment seen carves space for presence. The void isn't the enemy, it's the ground. Stillness is enough. 67% of people hide grief behind routine. The loop holds. Detachment breaks it. The truth settles. A new reflex forms. Another trap waits, but it can be met with sight. Principle 8. Suppressing the ache. A knot tightens. The urge to push it down surges. Suppressing. The reflex to silence pain with force. The jaw clenches. The mind chants, move on. Tasks pile. Hours rush. Anything to drown the sting. The body complies, but the ache lingers, sharper in quiet moments. Grief waits. Unaddressed, it grows. This isn't control. It's delay. Every push to bury the wound feeds anxiety beneath. The system strains, mistaking restraint for strength, forcing stillness without facing pain, builds a fracture, not a frame. The cost is unseen, a slow theft of self-command, until the heart feels locked. Seneca. Light griefs can speak, heavy ones are dumb. Suppression chokes the mind. Release meets the weight. Breathe through it, don't fight it. Observe the ache, don't hide it. Each moment held carves a line of discipline. The knot softens. Presence takes root. Pain doesn't mean truth. Why push it down? To stay strong. See it, that's strength. The weight lifts. A new anchor holds. Another reflex stirs, but it can be met with clarity. Principle 9. Rebuilding through presence. The day begins. The urge to retreat pulls hard. Isolation. The reflex to hide from the world. To shield pain. The phone stays silent. The door stays closed. Solitude feels safe, but it deepens numbness. Each hour alone builds a wall, not a refuge. The self withdraws, but the ache follows. This isn't protection, it's a trap. Every step inward, unchecked, buries awareness. The system falters, mistaking absence for control. Cutting ties to others severs presence too. The cost is quiet, a slow drift from self-command until connection feels impossible. Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Isolation stains the mind. Step back into the world, not to forget, but to ground. Say less, but stay near. Breath, in shared silence, rebuilds the frame. Each small act anchors discipline. Presence holds what solitude steals. You don't owe anything. A man joined his friend for coffee. No words, just company. Stillness grew. The wall cracks. A new reflex rises. Another pull waits, but it can be met with breath. Principle 10. Breaking the hope cycle. A spark flickers. Maybe they'll return. Hope, blindly. The reflex to cling to what might be. The mind weaves futures, softens their absence. A message checked. A post scanned. Each act fuels the illusion. The heart lifts briefly, then crashes harder. Pain waits, unchanged by fantasy. This isn't faith, it's a loop. Every wish for their return locks regret deeper. The system misfires, mistaking dreams for control. Chasing what's gone steals clarity from the now. The cost is unseen, a slow bleed of presence until reality feels like betrayal. Epictetus. Don't demand that things happen as you wish. Hoping traps the mind. Release the outcome. Withdraw from their shadow. Don't chase it. Observe the spark. Let it fade. Each breath grounds the truth. Stillness cuts the cycle. Let go isn't weakness. A tree sheds its leaves, not to mourn, but to stand. Detachment is its strength. The illusion fades. A new edge forms. Another reflex stirs, but it can be met with pause. Principle 11. Facing the mirror, the gaze avoids. The reflection stings. Overthinking. The reflex to question the self, to find the flaw. Why wasn't it enough? The mind dissects every word, every choice, seeking a reason for rejection. Each thought spirals deeper into shame. The mirror holds no answers, yet the stare persists. This isn't clarity. It's a trap. Every self-directed blame buries self-command. The system glitches, mistaking fault for control. Their departure isn't a verdict, but the mind makes it one. The cost is silent, a slow theft of presence until the self feels like an error. Seneca. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Blaming the self binds it tighter. See the reflection, don't judge it. Stand still. Don't dissect. Breath meets the sting. Each moment faced rebuilds discipline. The mirror clears. Awareness holds. You don't have to react. Marcus Aurelius wrote alone at dawn, not to judge but to see. Stillness was his anchor. The reflection softens. A new reflex rises. Another pull waits, but it can be met with sight. Principle 12. Releasing their image. A face lingers. Their smile, their voice, etched deep, clinging, the reflex to hold their memory close, as if it softens loss. The mind replays their presence, a comfort that stabs. Each thought feels like keeping them, but it's only pain preserved. The heart tightens, the image stays, unmoved. This isn't love, it's a chain. Every moment spent summoning them locks emptiness tighter. The system falters, mistaking memory for control. Their image isn't theirs anymore. It's a shadow the mind builds. The cost is quiet, a slow drain of clarity, until the now feels stolen. Epictetus. What need is there to dwell on what is no longer yours? Holding their face binds the self. Let go to free it. Disengage. Let their image fade. Breath dissolves the outline. Each release carves space for presence. The mind clears. Stillness takes root. The void is where it clears. Why keep their face? To feel close. Release. That's closer to you. The shadow lifts. A new anchor forms. Another reflex stirs. But it can be met with pause. Principle 13. Ending the bargain. A deal forms. If only they'd see, things could shift. Pleasing. The reflex to barter for their return. The Minecraft's offers change, prove weight, as if effort could rewrite loss. Each plan feels like action, but it's only hope blindly chaining the self. The heart bets, the ache grows. This isn't strategy, it's a loop. Every bargain struck deepens rejection. The system misfires, mistaking compromise for control. Their choice isn't for sale, yet the mind keeps bidding. The cost is unseen, a slow theft of self-command, until the self feels owed. Seneca. No one can keep what fortune takes. Bargaining binds the mind. Withdraw from their terms. Step back. Don't offer more. Observe the urge. Let it pass. Each refusal builds discipline. Stillness holds what pleading steals. You can end without drama. A woman stopped waiting. She walked away. Detachment set her free. The deal dissolves. A new edge sharpens. Another reflex waits, but it can be met with clarity. Principle 14. Shattering the fantasy. A dream persists. They'll see the error, return, explain. Hope blindly. The reflex to craft a future that erases pain. The mind builds scenes reunions, apologies, each one a balm that stings deeper. The heart clings to what could be, but reality waits, unmoved. Loss grows, not from their absence, but from chasing illusions. This isn't healing, it's a trap. Every fantasy spun locks regret tighter. The system glitches, mistaking dreams for control. Their return isn't yours to script, yet the mind keeps writing. The cost is silent, a slow theft of presence, until the now feels like a lie. Marcus Aurelius. Accept the things to which fate binds you. Fantasizing binds the self. Release the script. Disengage. Let the dream dissolve. Breath grounds the truth. Each moment unspun carves space for clarity. Stillness cuts the illusion. Silence isn't surrender. 78% of people imagine reconciliations weekly. The loop holds. The Dohmen breaks it. The fantasy fades. A new reflex forms. Another pull lingers, but it can be met with sight. Principle 15. Stopping the comparison. Their life unfolds. A post, a story, a glimpse. Overthinking, the reflex to measure their now against yours. Are they happier? Better off? The mind spirals, stacking flaws against their shine. Each glance at their world deepens shame. The heart sinks not from their gain, but from self-betrayal. This isn't curiosity. It's a cage. Every comparison buries self-command. The system falters, mistaking their path for your worth. Their choices don't define you, yet the mind judges. The cost is unseen, a slow theft of clarity, until presence feels like loss. Epictetus. You become what you give your attention to. Comparing binds the mind. Withdraw from their frame. Not checking breaks the loop. Observe your own breath, not their shadow. Each step inward builds discipline. Stillness holds what envy steals. You don't owe anything. A man closed the app. His world grew sharper. Presence was his edge. The measure shifts. A new anchor forms. Another reflex waits, but it can be met with pause. Principle 16. Unhooking from guilt. A thought stabs. It was your fault. Guilt. The reflex to carry their departure as blame. The mind replays choices, words, moments, seeking the error that drove them away. Each self-accusation feels like truth, but it's only pain dressed as justice. The heart bends under a weight it chose to hold. This isn't accountability. It's a chain. Every moment spent blaming locks regret deeper. The system misfires, mistaking fault for control. Their leaving isn't your sentence, yet the mind convicts itself. The cost is silent, a slow theft of self-command, until awareness feels like punishment. Seneca. No one is condemned save by himself. Guilt binds the self. Release the verdict. Step back. Don't judge the past. Breath dissolves the blame. Each moment, unhooked, carves space for clarity. Stillness holds what guilt steals. Detachment is a form of respect. Why carry the fault? To explain it. See, you owe no reasons. The blame lifts. A new reflex forms. Another pull waits, but it can be met with sight. Principle 17. Reclaiming the moment. The day drags. Thoughts drift to their absence. Overthinking. The reflex. To let pain steal the now. A song plays. A memory sparks. The mind slips backward. Each moment lost to what was feels like loyalty to them. But it's not. It's betrayal of the present. The heart lingers while the world moves on. This isn't devotion. It's a loop. Every thought given to their shadow buries presence deeper. The system stalls, mistaking memory for meaning. Their absence doesn't own the now, yet the mind surrenders it. The cost is unseen, a slow theft of awareness, until the self feels unmoored. Marcus Aurelius. Confine yourself to the present. Drifting binds the mind. Ground in the moment. Breathe here, not there. Observe the air, not their echo. Each second claimed builds discipline. Stillness anchors what memory pulls. Not doing is power too. A man walked alone. Each step rooted him. Presence was his strength. The now sharpens, a new edge forms. Another reflex waits, but it can be met with breath. Principle 18. Silencing the inner critic. A voice whispers, you weren't enough. Shame. The reflex, to let self-doubt carve deeper. The mind replays their exit, pinning blame on flaws, choices, worth. Each thought stings feels true, but it's only pain speaking. The heart shrinks under a verdict it wrote itself. This isn't insight, it's a trap. Every self-criticism locks regret tighter. The system falters, mistaking blame for clarity. Their leaving isn't your measure, yet the mind condemns. The cost is quiet, a slow theft of self-command, until awareness feels like failure. Epictetus. If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment. Judging binds the self. Withdraw from the verdict. Pause. Don't feed the voice. Observe it, don't believe it. Each breath builds discipline. Stillness quiets what shame screams. You don't have to react. Seneca faced exile, he wrote, not cursed. Stillness was his power. The voice fades. A new reflex forms. Another pull waits, but it can be met with sight. Principle 19. Letting go of their story. Their life unfolds. A narrative the mind can't stop tracking, chasing the reflex to follow their path, their choices, their world. A post glimpsed, a rumor heard. Each fragment fuels the urge to know. The heart pulls, as if their story still holds your truth. Pain grows, not from their absence, but from watching their shadow. This isn't curiosity, it's a loop. Every moment spent on their tale buries presents deeper. The system misfires, mistaking their arc for your own. Their story isn't yours to write, yet the mind keeps reading. The cost is silent, a slow theft of clarity, until the self feels like an afterthought. Seneca, you must let go of what does not belong to you. Tracking binds the mind. Withdrawal from their page. Not checking severs the tie. Breath anchors the now. Each step away builds discipline. Stillness holds what their story steals. You can end without drama. A woman turned off notifications. Her world grew quiet. Detachment set her free. Their story fades. A new edge sharpens. Another reflex waits, but it can be met with pause. Principle 20. Building the new frame. The past pulls. A reflex to rebuild on old ground. Clinging. The urge to shape the future from their absence. Plans form, habits shift, but the shadow of loss lingers. Each step forward feels like defiance, yet it carries their weight. The heart strives, but pain anchors it to what was. This isn't progress, it's a loop. Every effort tied to their memory locks regret deeper. The system falters, mistaking reaction for renewal. Their absence doesn't define the frame, yet the mind lets it. The cost is unseen, a slow theft of presence, until the new feels like a lie. Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. Rebuilding on their shadow binds the self. Ground in the now. Start here, not there. Breath shapes the frame. Each choice unbound builds discipline. Stillness holds what memory pulls. Not doing is power too. A man cleared his desk, not to erase, but to begin. Presence was his strength. The frame rises. A new reflex forms. The past waits, but it can be met with clarity. A seed lies buried. It doesn't mourn the soil. Growth is its silence. Detachment is its root. The past fades. A new anchor holds. The system resets, but it must be guarded. The phone rests. Screen dark, untouched. Breath fills the room. Slow, deliberate. No words sent. No shadows chased. The air holds still. A moment unreacted. Stillness kept its ground. Not a victory, not a loss, just a choice to stay. The weight of their absence lingers, but it doesn't pull. Presence anchors what was almost lost. What is kept? By not chasing their echo. Silence is a choice that weighs.